Hello. I invite you to continue the series of calm reflections on the book Our Home by André Luiz, a spiritual account of life after death, responsibility, and the maturation of consciousness through work. Chapter 34 is titled, With the Newly Arrived from Umbral. This is a deeply moving chapter. Not because it describes dramatic events, but because it clearly reveals the state of consciousness of many spirits who leave earthly life. It also shows how delicate and demanding the work of spiritual assistance can be in the first moments after a spirit is rescued from the dark regions of Umbral. At the same time, this chapter reveals a very important truth. The beliefs that a person forms during life on earth may remain with them even after death, and they are not always consistent with the reality of the spiritual world. When the caravan of the Samaritans arrives at the colony, intense work begins. Newly rescued spiritual patients are brought into the rectification chambers. Some remain calm and humble. Others are confused, restless, or overwhelmed by suffering. Many still carry within them the images and beliefs they formed during their earthly lives. The workers of the colony try to help them with great patience and fraternal care. During this work, André meets an elderly woman who struggles to step down from one of the wagons. She is frightened. She speaks about hell, devils, and purgatory. She is convinced that she has just been rescued from a place of terrible torment by angels. Her words show how deeply her consciousness is shaped by old religious imagery. For her, Umbral appears as the literal hell described in human beliefs. As André listens to her story, he begins to discover something even more troubling. The woman believes she was a very religious person. She prayed. She paid for masses. She went regularly to confession. Therefore, she believes that after death she should have received an immediate reward. Yet at the same time, she speaks with little sense of guilt about her former life as the owner of a plantation. She talks about punishing enslaved people, about separating families, about the violence used against people whom she did not consider her equals. In her mind, these actions do not seem like serious moral problems. For her, they were simply part of the order of the world. This scene reveals a very important spiritual issue. A person may believe they are religious while still failing to understand the fundamental laws of love and brotherhood. Someone may faithfully follow external religious practices and yet never achieve a true transformation of the heart. This chapter clearly shows the difference between formal religiosity and genuine moral responsibility. Deeply disturbed by what he hears, André tries to explain to the woman that the enslaved people were also human beings, brothers before God. But the woman reacts with anger. She cannot accept this idea. Her beliefs are too deeply rooted. Until the very end, she believes that her actions were justified by religion and tradition. At this moment, an important lesson appears for André. Narcissa gently interrupts the conversation. She does so with great wisdom and kindness. She explains that their task is not to argue or to try to convince disturbed spirits of new ideas. Their task is to bring relief, to calm them, to help them recover balance. Only later, when the patient's consciousness becomes calmer and more open, can true learning begin. This moment reveals an essential principle of spiritual work. Truth cannot be imposed by force. It must be accepted at the right moment of awareness. For this reason, the first step in healing a spirit is often not debate, but compassion and patience. Chapter 34 also reveals another very important truth. After death, a person does not suddenly become a completely transformed being. They carry their opinions, their beliefs, their mental habits. Who we truly are inside during earthly life often accompanies us into the spiritual world. This is why moral development during earthly life is so important. It is not only about religious practices. It is about a real transformation of our way of thinking. About learning to see every human being as a brother or sister. About developing compassion, justice, and responsibility. This chapter also reminds us of several very important truths. That religiosity without love does not lead to the true transformation of the spirit. That our beliefs can keep us trapped in illusions even after death. That spiritual help requires enormous patience and understanding. And that true spiritual education begins only when consciousness becomes ready to receive new light. This is a powerful chapter. Not because it describes suffering, but because it shows how deeply human illusions can become rooted. And how difficult the path toward true understanding of human brotherhood can sometimes be. And it leaves us with a very important question. Is our spirituality only a collection of beliefs and rituals? Or does it truly change the way we look at other people? In the next chapter, André Luiz will continue learning about the mechanisms of spiritual work within the colony. The journey continues. See you soon.